Guys, as you know, Bitcoin already pumped today all the way up to the $43,500 level, but now we are actually seeing quite a sell-off. I can already tell you guys, this sell-off could just result in a massive retest that is right now happening on the little smaller timeframes than the daily timeframe. And you know that in my last video I already told you that I'm a little bit more bullish than bearish at the moment, and I will back this up with a massive amount of very bullish fundamental news for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. But now, let's not talk too much. Let's just jump into the chart now, and I will show you this new trade opportunity and this new chart pattern I found on the smaller time frames. As always, guys, I would really appreciate it if you could smash up a like. Every single video of mine actually reaches 1,000 likes at the moment, so make sure to also subscribe, activate the bell, and you won't miss out on any future uploads on Bitcoin. And now let's not talk too much. Thank you very much for your support, and let's just jump right into the charts. As I said, on the daily time frame, there's not much to see at the moment. We only broke out of the falling wedge, which I already predicted a couple of days ago in my not in my previous video, but in the video beforehand. And what we are seeing right now is that actually Bitcoin on the 12-hourly time frame is still forming a very valid W pattern. As we can see here, this W pattern didn't get invalidated by the sell-off we saw so far. I actually expect that we have a good chance with the next 12-hourly candles to still complete this W pattern and break it to the upside here back above the $44,000 where the neckline is. But this is actually not the most interesting thing, because this W pattern, as we now know on the bigger time frames, is not invalidated by this drop. The more interesting thing is why I am actually expecting the probability to be higher to now not continue dumping, but actually to pump in the next 12 hours. And this I will actually show you now with the 4-hourly time frame, because what we are seeing there is another falling wedge, and a little bit of a smaller one. Bitcoin was forming here this big, very rapidly declining falling wedge. We broke to it to the upside as I predicted it. We retested it. As you guys know, I already told you, if we break the $44,000 level, I'm ready to open a trade. This didn't happen so far, but now I think there's actually a new trade opportunity, because we are now here forming another falling wedge. But what we can see here already is that this new falling wedge is not falling as rapidly as the one beforehand. And this actually means that the bulls are getting back into control, because the downward sloping supports actually get less steep by each and every single time the bulls achieve one breakout above it. And what happens here is we form like a spring and then catapult to the upside as soon as we pretty much break the last horizontal resistance. And this is why I'm finding this falling wedge so interesting, because it hasn't been confirmed yet. And this is actually why I am going to open a long trade, not only if we break the $44,000 level to the upside. No, I will actually open a trade much earlier. I will actually open a trade when we are retesting here this beautiful falling wedge. And this is no financial advice. As soon as we are bouncing here, right? As soon as we are bouncing here, I will open a very small trade. I will explain to you why it's going to be a very small trade in a second, and I will only use a 3x leverage. Just because I have two scenarios for Bitcoin at the moment, and with my trade strategy, I want to be able to make profits in both scenarios, right? So scenario number one is we are bouncing here off this falling wedge. As soon as I see some volume coming in and the first candle's bouncing, I will open a 3x long position. I will scale this long trade up as soon as we confirm this breakout, right? Because this breakout only gets confirmed as soon as we see the bounce first of all, but then also after the bounce we have to break the old high point to the upside before we can be sure that this breakout is confirmed. So now actually I will open a very small trade. I mean a very small trade here. I will scale it up as soon as we break above the $43,300 level. As soon as we break above that, I'm scaling it up. And then finally, if we are breaking above the $44,000 level on the 12-hourly time frame and we are confirming, I went to the 8-hourly time frame now, and we are confirming this W breakout here, then I will scale up this trade once again. And during that time, I am actually able to keep my stop loss in profit without risking making any loss, and I still can build up a fairly good position without having a lot of risk. And if we break to the upside, I will just let it run, and then the earliest I will scale it up once again is when we break here this downward sloping red resistance, but this is something for a future video. The worst case now for sure is that Bitcoin just continues to correct. I mean, we break the 41,000 level with a 12-hourly candle to the downside. That would invalidate the W pattern. There is no chance of a bullish reversal then to be seen here yet. The possibilities of a falling, of a descending triangle then become very realistic, and another drop all the way down to maybe maybe even $29,000, where the next really relevant support comes in, is not all too unrealistic. The only important thing is that we know that this scenario is right now more unlikely than the bullish one, because of also I will show you some very, very bullish fundamental news. But what we also know is that we are still in decision phase. There's still big fear in the market. I know a lot of big players actually that are talking about prices of $29,000 for Bitcoin. I know a lot of big players, and that's why I want to make sure that with my trades, my HODL portfolio, as you know, I never touch, but with my trades, I at least want to make sure that in the worst case, I am then prepared to a drop to the $29,000 level. And this is being done by only using a 3x leverage, using a small position size, and then scaling the trade up right in front of your liquidation prices, which then moves your average entry point down and moves also your liquidation price down. This is the strategy I'm following here now with this new trade, and there's not much more to it. These are the price levels I'm keeping an eye on. Like I said, invalidation happens when we break below the $41,500 level with a 12-hourly candle close. But now let's also talk a little bit about all these amazing news. Andreessen Horowitz, we all know him. He has almost $30 billion in funds under management in his force, and he actually planned to raise another $4.5 million for a new group of cryptocurrency funds. And I really have to say, this is an insane news. This would it would actually double the holdings of the Andreessen Horowitz force in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And I mean, this is massive buy volume, although they will for sure buy these Bitcoin via the OTC market, probably in Asia. I have to say that it's still removing massive selling pressure from the market that would have been sold otherwise maybe on the open market if there would have been no OTC desk to fulfill their huge sell orders. So this more or less, and the other way around, if there's not enough sell orders, they will have to buy on the open market, and this will then for sure result in a very good price gain for Bitcoin, and in either way it will result in selling volume disappearing from the market altogether. Then another very interesting news here, at the same time, MicroStrategy with already $5 billion in Bitcoin holdings. I mean, it would be perfect. Maybe the Michael Saylor says now, okay, we made some profits, let's take some profits now off the table, maybe let's sell some of these Bitcoin to Andreessen Horowitz. But this is not the case. Michael Saylor actually stated here that he's not planning on selling anything of the Bitcoin stash at the moment, which I think is very, very interesting and for sure bullish news. But we already knew that Michael Saylor is a very big long-term bull on cryptocurrencies, so not a big surprise maybe, although it is bullish news for sure. Then another thing, 300 banks to offer Bitcoin to clients in the first half of 2022. Also a very, very interesting and bullish news. Why is that? I mean, banks, you normally don't want to have them involved in crypto. At least this was the general opinion in crypto in the year of 2018, 17. And now also I think a lot of people in crypto are still saying that banks shouldn't get involved with Bitcoin. But I think that banks actually offer Bitcoin to their clients is a very, very great thing, because it just gives very regular people that don't really know about Bitcoin, hardware wallets, the security issues, exchanges, all maybe the risks that are also out there in the cryptocurrency space right now. They then have a very safe way to invest their assets also partially into Bitcoin. And again, 300 banks are now planning to offer this in the first half of 2022. As you guys know, the Deutsche Sparkasse, so it's a bank in Germany, a very, very big one. They also already announced that they will be offering their clients to be able to buy Bitcoin, although in 2017, for example, they stated that employees of the bank actually cannot be involved in anything related to cryptocurrency. So big changes of mind there. I mean, we've seen this in the cryptocurrency space in the last years more often than ever, that enemies of cryptocurrencies actually turned into believers fairly quickly, and this network effect will only accelerate with more and more knowledge being pushed out to the people about cryptocurrency. So make sure to like, subscribe, activate the bell, guys. Leave a comment down below so the people don't miss out on this this massive opportunity. No financial advice here. Me personally, I'm in the space for a very long time, and I just know what's possible in the space, and I believe in the long term. So that's why I'm for sure presenting you here some very nice and bullish news as well. Thai Central Bank issues licenses to two cryptocurrency exchanges. Again, a thing where you can say, oh, a central bank getting involved in cryptocurrency exchanges, but we have seen it in the past, a lot of unregulated cryptocurrency exchanges. We have seen hacks, scams, bugs, leaks, whatever. We have seen all kinds of stuff. So I think regulations regulation needs to be there. I'm not talking about fully regulating Bitcoin miners to get them centralized or whatever. This is for sure not what regulation should look like. But I think the vehicles and the especially like exchanges and services that are offered in the cryptocurrency space, these should be regulated, because these are the places where people potentially lose their crypto to bad people or scammers, and also then lose the trust in the cryptocurrency space in general, although there's only a few black sheep that sadly now and then get a big amount of crypto and make a big story out of it. And for this reason, I think regulations are actually a good thing, because these will actually prevent hacks and scams from happening a little bit more, at least. I mean, we've seen stuff in the traditional space as well. I think Wirecard is a good example here, but still, I mean, it definitely slims down the chances of scams and other stuff happening. So I think this is also bullish news. More or less, guys, if you enjoyed now the video, you know exactly what I'm keeping an eye on chart-wise. You know exactly what type of news I actually also looked at today. One small, very interesting fact here to the end of the video. The top 1,000 Ethereum holders actually just started accumulating again. I mean, it's on the blockchain, so it's very clearly visible. They are accumulating Link, Matic, and FTX as altcoins are rising. So as you know, altcoins are actually picking up a little bit while Bitcoin is here consolidating sideways. So I really have to say, very interesting that what coins these ETH whales are buying. I mean, it's not a guarantee that these coins are going up, but it's definitely something to keep in mind when here maybe thinking about where to put your maybe Bitcoin profits from trading. If you want to put them in altcoins or whatever and not all back to your Bitcoin hodl portfolio, could be an interesting thing to look at besides the charts of the projects, what whales are actually accumulating it, or if whales are actually accumulating that. But now, guys, let's smash up a like. Let's reach 1,000 likes. Don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell, and we are going to see us in the next video. Till then, bye.